You know, after giving it a lot of thought, I finally come to the conclusion that nobody loves me. Now, that might sound rather harsh, and I don't know, self-deprecating, but it's not. It's actually true when you really think about it, and think about this for yourself. When you ask the question, does anybody really love me? I mean, one of the big questions would be, do you think anybody would take a bullet for you? Do you think somebody would be willing to actually die for you? I mean, that's really the measure of love, right? A lot of times people say, I love you, but that lasts for a little while and then they're gone. They leave, they end up saying things that obviously show that they don't love you. This has happened to me on multiple occasions, and I've also done it to other people where I've told them that I love them, and then I go and treat them like shit. So what does that mean when we say I love you? Saying I love you, and actually even at times when we show love, I think those sometimes can be slightly different things. But the main thing is when we express that verbally, we're trying to convey something to the other person as if that's going to help attract them, maybe. A lot of times the love that we express comes from our ego. It comes from a place where we actually want something. And this is something that I've noticed. Okay, so here's what's interesting. In the Spanish language, the way they express I love you is they say te quiero, which means literally, I want you. Now, I would say that's a much more accurate representation of what we feel when we love somebody, is actually that we want them. We want that person. I want that person, so I love that person. But real love, if somebody really loves another person, true love means that the love is not limited to just one person. It's because to truly love, to really express love, means that you have no animosity toward anyone. Because true love is not limited to a single individual, because all of us are connected. So love from a spiritual sense means that to love one person means you must love the whole. That means you love everybody, that you really have no enemies. Anybody that you would think of as an enemy, somebody who might treat you poorly or do you harm on purpose, would not be considered your enemy, because that person is coming from a place of where it's his or her own issues that's causing him or her to do whatever it is that that person is doing to you. So in loving another, true expression of love means that you have no animosity toward anyone and would not feel the desire to do harm to anyone and not feel vindictive toward anyone. And I don't know personally anyone who has that, who actually embodies that type of love. Now, there might be some people who I've heard of or who I've maybe seen through video or in reading something who seemed to exhibit that love, but I personally have not experienced that from anyone. So I don't believe anybody loves me, really. Other people may want me. They might like hanging around with me. They might love me in a whatever way they think love is, but it's not really love. It's more an egotistical desire to have community with another person. At least that's the way I see it. And I'm working toward having that full love, so that I'm letting go of all of these little animosities towards a variety of people, which actually comes down to me having animosity toward myself. It's actual, and everything else is a projection. So whenever I express anger towards somebody else, it's really because I feel angry toward myself. And that means that I don't fully love myself. And once I fully love myself, I will fully love everyone, even somebody who would do me harm. I will fully love that person because I will understand, not just intellectually, but in the heart, I will fully understand at a deep level what it is that that person feels, and I'll understand it because I have felt it myself to some degree, and I will empathize with that in my love. I think that's really what Jesus did, is that his love was so powerful that people felt it whenever they were in his presence. They realized that it didn't depend on their performance, what they did or said to him, that they actually knew that he loved them regardless of who they were, what their station in life was, whether they had been good or bad, whether they said something wrong or whether they did anything wrong or right, that he loved them regardless. It didn't matter. Even when he was being nailed to the cross, the people that nailed him to the cross, I'm sure, felt his love. And I imagine that some of them most of them rejected it. They could not handle it, and which probably inflared their anger toward Jesus even more, because he did not respond in a way that they would expect. That's why I think nobody loves me. And you may come to the conclusion after thinking about it that nobody loves you either. So that's my encouragement for today. Ciao.